As campaigning for the Georgia runoff election ramps up, Republicans are laying the blame game on Capitol Hill, while the Democrats have already secured control of the Senate. Victory in Georgia would ensure an outright majority over the Republicans. Joining us live now, former Republican Congressman for South Carolina, Bob Inglis. Bob, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. First of all, on to tomorrow, because Donald Trump says there's going to be a big announcement. Are you expecting him to announce a run tomorrow?
I suppose so. That seems to be what's on the wire, is that he's going to announce tomorrow, yes.
Despite what many regard as a rebuke of Donald Trump or the men and women that he picked not really working out that well, do you think that's a reflection on him that might cause him to rethink a run?
I would certainly hope so, because it's pretty clear that that's the case, that the big loser in the American elections, the American midterm elections this year, was Donald Trump. He chose very poor candidates and ended up with a very bad record. And so I hope that fellow Republicans will realize that, well, let's see, he lost the U.S. House for us, he lost the U.S. Senate for us, he lost the White House for us, and now he's lost in a midterm that Republicans should have won. I think that's sort of 4 strikes, and 3 strikes would have been enough to get you out, don't you think?
I guess he would say it wasn't him, it was others, and when he comes into play for a run in the general election, perhaps it will be different. Is there any credence to that in your view?
I don't think so. I think that, eventually people do get tired of a certain shtick. And I think that a lot of Americans are sort of tired of the Trump shtick, and so they're ready to move on. If you look at, for example, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, who had an amazing victory on Tuesday last, that looks good as a new contender rather than sort of a rerun of something in a relitigation of the 2020 election. It's time to move forward, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned a couple of the issues that the Republicans should have done a whole lot better on. And to be frank, that red wave really should have happened given the state of the economy, given Joe Biden's approval ratings. They're the lowest of any president since Truman, and the highest disapproval ratings as well. Crime's on the up, you've got a border crisis, all these issues that should have helped the Republicans but didn't. So what do you put that down to, and can it be salvageable for the next election?
I put it down to extremism. I think that the Democrats could have had a blue wave in 2020, but they flubbed that up with 3 words: defund the police. Effectively turned that blue wave into a ripple.
Yeah.
And extremism in my party, and really some candidates saying some pretty outrageous things about elections being stolen and such, that extremism turned a red wave into a red ripple.
Yeah.
And so extremism really is the thing that should be avoided. Maybe we could learn something from Australians about how you compulsory voting or something, and maybe that would cause us to have a more standard kind of commentary and discussions in the middle rather than at the extremes in the American parties.
On the other side now, Bob, I mean, in 2 years, Biden will be 82. Do you expect him to run again?
I hope not. I hope that he would declare victory and say, we did pretty well in the midterms, all things considered, and now it's time for somebody else. I really think that would be a good move for the country, for Joe Biden to say, it's time. And it might also, I just wonder, Pete, whether it would cause Donald Trump to say, never mind, I won't run, because I think in Trump's mind, he's just trying to settle the score.
Right.
So maybe if Joe Biden said, listen, I'm not running, maybe Donald Trump would run either, and we have new choices.
We'll all find out tomorrow. And I mean, look, the Republicans, maybe they've got their heir apparent now in Ron DeSantis. Who have the, I mean, it's the other team, but the Democrats may well be looking at Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar. I don't know. The field is open. Who would you suggest is the Democrats' strongest candidate to replace Joe Biden?
My guess is they look to governors. They've got some new governors and some existing governors, and that's usually pretty good hunting ground for a good president, is somebody who's been the governor of a state.
All right. Good to chat, Bob. We'll talk to you soon.